The concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series at virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. The Friday night series, presented by Nazareth, takes on this 1.5 mile track. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is William Tiller, joined alongside Jacob Reeves and Adam Flieger. We hope you are ready for a fun night of racing. It should be a good one. Jake, tell us about Sin City and all the chaos that will ensue here tonight.
Well, Will and everybody at home, the big thing about Sin City is you got to come with a lot of money because I'm telling you, there's a good possibility you may lose every dime that you got and then you go back home and you're divorced. That's Vegas in general on the strip. This is Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 1.5 miles. This track has actually went through some renovations. At one point back in the early 2000s, it was more of a flat track. Now this track has got some serious banking in 1 and 2 and also in 3 and 4. Very, very, very fast track for these drivers that we're going to see tonight. Honestly, it's going to be much like an Atlanta Motor Speedway or a Daytona International Speedway for about the first 10 laps because everybody is going to be wide open on the floor drafting off of one another, which is how these trucks is in the C.O.P.S Truck Series is. So it's going to be a very, very interesting race, especially on these restarts, Will. That's going to be where you get your popcorn out and check them out on these restarts.
Absolutely, and coming off of last week's crazy finish with Jason Morales winning that race, let's check out the drivers that will take on Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Row number 1, we have the 12 machine of Zach Hartwig right alongside Michael McKinnon in that 13 machine. Row number 2, we have Devin Painter in that 99 and Kyle Hess in that 86. I know Kyle is going to come with a little extra motivation here tonight. In row number 3, we have Stephen Thomas in the 23. Adam Newton in the 82 will go alongside with him tonight. The Animal starts off in row number 5 in that 29 machine, and Cody Knott in the 26. Row number 6 is going to be Jose Luis Rivera in that 20, and Justin Lumpkin in that 18 will round out our top 10.
And then you got Kevin D'Elia is going to be in that 11th spot. Taylor Peacock, who was very, very aggressive last week at Daytona, not the finish that he wanted, will get 12th here on the starting lineup. Jeffrey Sickles will be 13th. Justin White will be 14th. The boss man Brady LaBeouf will be 15th. Ed Osborne going to be 16th. Brandon Bullock will be 17th. Adam Johnson's going to be 18th. Christopher Blanchard will be 19th. And Jacob Klinkhardt's going to round out the top 20.
Yeah, these are my favorite positions here. Positions outside of the top 20. We always have a guy sneak up through the field. The 21st position will have James D. Morris in the 84. 22nd position is the 85 of Phil Pappas. 23rd position is going to be the 14 of Jonathan Munda. 24th is going to be the 48 of Robbie Richards. 25th position is the 88 machine of Ashley Dotson racing out of Australia. There Ashley is. In the 26th position, we have Jacob Walker in that 44. 27th position is the 94 of Eric Zimmerman. 28th position is Raul Meza in that 37. And rounding out our top 30 is Dan Hagen in that 39.
And then coming on with 31st, going to have Blake Lothian in 31st spot. The Joker, Joey Doucette, actually did not pull a time in qualifying, will be 32nd. Jeff Merrick, one of the rookies, going to be in the 33rd spot. Sean Hamilton in 34th. And Dana Shepard is going to be the 35th and last guy, the tail end Charlie, if you will, here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series, race number 2 here at Las Vegas.
In week number 2 here in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, coming off, like I mentioned, that crazy finish in week number 1. We're always in for great finishes here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. As we come off the last corner here, it is going to be Zach Hartwick and Michael McKinnon taking the green flag here in Sin City. Get your popcorn ready, because it's time to roll the dice. It's time to cash them all in. It's time to put all the chips in the table here. In just a little while, looks like we're going to do another trip around Las Vegas here, Jacob. And, you know, before we get this thing rocking and rolling here tonight, who's your sleeper pick of the night?
Well, honestly, I mean, it's got to be Zach Hartwick. I mean, we talked about this a while ago. Zach, on the pole, the only one to actually break into the 30.7s So that's big right there for Zach to get the pole out here. One of the sleeper picks, honestly, it might be a little bit, off on this a little bit, but check out this 86 of Kyle Hess right here in fourth. I mean, well, if I'm not mistaken, last season he struggled for good portions of the race and was really hoping for a bounce back season. Kyle Hess, honestly, he's one of these guys that could be a definite sleeper pick, and that obviously some of the guys back in the back, Joey Doucette, Dane Hagan, those guys back at Robbie Richards, watch out for those guys too, because it ain't about how you qualify, at least from what I've been able to see here in the concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. It's not about where you qualify, it's all about where you finish.
Yeah, and for me, the folks got to watch out for that 99 machine of Devin Painter. Ran very strong there in week number 1. I think just got caught up in those late race cautions, kind of ended the momentum that he was building up. Watch out for that 99 machine here tonight. But as that shot comes across your screen here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, the lights are off of the pace truck. We're going to get things rocking and rolling here in Sin City. Let's put it all on the table. Let's cash them all in. As right now, Zach Hartwick and Michael McKinnon take the green flag down the corner number 1.
Hartwick down on the bottom, gonna get a little help right here from Devin Painter, one of the guys you just called to watch out for here tonight. Now he's putting a little pressure on Hartwick. Hartwick will get clear. Now it's Michael McKinnon and Devin Painter side by side for that second spot. Kyle Hess up on top, trying to get McKinnon going as they thunder into turn 3 to try to complete this first lap.
Zach Hartwick will take us off of corner number 4 here. He'll lead the first lap here in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. That 12 machine is looking good there out in the front. He's got the 99 machine of Devin Painter pushing him along into 1 and 2. Right there, Michael McKinnon, that 13 machine is lingering as well as we come off of corner number 2 down the backstretch.
A lot of guys fanning out. Couple actually getting in the wall right off of turn number 2. Around the 12th, 13th spot, but we stay green. Nobody around. Hartwick still leading with Painter in tow. Michael McKinnon. And check out Stephen Thomas up here in the 4th spot. One of those guys that we talked about last week, Will, was in the championship 6 and did not get the finish he wanted. You know he's got all the momentum, I guess you could say, for this season. And then check out running 5th. The champion, the previous champion, the Animal, Keith Bradley.
Yeah, the Animal is trying to make that momentum build up here this season, but there goes Devin Payne in the 99, wasting no time here tonight. He's going to battle for the lead with Zach Hartwick across that start-finish line. Michael McKinnon will look at this as an opportunity. He's thinking about going into that inside gap right there. He'll stay top side with Zach Hartwick in that 12. They're side by side into 1 and 2. Devin Painter, you see, he is hungry for the lead off of corner number 2.
And we got a caution on the Speedway, Will. Caution is on the Speedway. Gonna try to see if we can get a look at who that was. Believe it was actually, might have been Jeff Merrick. Actually, it was right at the start-finish line. Gonna get another look at this and see what brought out this caution here tonight. It's actually up in the front. I believe it was around, trying to get a good look at it. I think it was up around in the area where the top 10 was. Had a little bit of a stack up there.
Let's check out this on the pole instant replay. Our first caution of the night here comes very, very early. There's the 81 of Taylor Peacock right there. They're going to cross that start-finish line. We'll see what brought out this caution flag here. Get it revved up for you here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And Jacob, it's pretty early for a caution. Do you think these guys are just coming off of the hungriness of last week's race?
Yeah, I think it is, and I just saw what had happened right there. It was Kyle Hess, Brady LaBeouf, and Christopher Blanchard. Looked like that LaBeouf was on the bottom of the racetrack, and Blanchard was trying to go around. Both of them was actually trying to go around Kyle Hess, who had basically hung himself up in the top lane. You'll see it right here as they come into 3. You see Hess all the way up the racetrack right here. Brady and Chris is going to come right here at him. And, you know, Chris comes down. It was Netcode that got into Brady LaBeouf. and then just sent them both straight up into Kyle Hess. And Hess, I mean, innocent bystander right there. I mean, that was just straight up net code. You're gonna see it. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can see it right there. You can see the gap between the two trucks.
It looks like that BP Racing for Autism entry is going to get the worst of this caution here, as well as the boss man himself, the 24 machine Abreu LaBeouf. You see it right there. That's what you're talking about there, Jake, that net code aspect of iRacing. You see the 9 of Chris Blanchard. He was running that clear line, but for some reason, iRacing decided that there was contact there. And for the 9 machine of Chris Blanchard, though, he's going to escape that contact, probably with maybe minimal scrapes on that left side fender. For the 24, though, and the 86, it looks like their nights might be done.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate to see that this early in the race, especially when, I mean, nobody was really doing anything wrong right there, Will. I mean, you know, Hess was up out of the groove. Everybody was just trying to get around him. Blanchard's just trying to come down to make sure that Hess has got enough room so he don't pinch him up into the wall. And then he just comes down ever so slightly, and Brady LaBeouf's there, but they don't even make any contact. That's what well, it blows my mind every single week that we see net code, and it's not the driver's fault. It's absolutely none of their faults. But you got to get close to one another to race. I mean, you got to get close. I mean, you can't just be out there, you know, 10 feet away from each other. You got to get close to one another to do the side drafting and all that cool stuff. And that's racing, but I mean, it's unfortunate to have netcode play another factor into an accident this week.
Absolutely, and in a track like Las Vegas, that's almost as probably I'd say one of the most narrow racetracks, other than a short track. There, Jake, this track is incredibly difficult. There, you saw it there on the backstretch, how much those cars were bunched up there. Those trucks, excuse me, they're bunched up on the backside, and then coming into the corners, you're still very tight as well. What would you say this track really compares to on the NASCAR schedule?
I mean, honestly, if it compares to anything, I have to say that it compares to like a Chicagoland to a certain extent. I mean, like I said before, you know, this track has went through some transformations, but the asphalt, as you can see, it's got seams in it. It's not been repaved as much as, say, you know, Atlanta or what have you. But the big thing about it, that where I compare it to Chicagoland, is if you go into turn one, there is a bump that is absolutely horrendous. You can bottom out so hard in turn one, and even, you know, there's a couple more in turn two. Same thing in 3 and 4. It's real bumpy. Much like, I guess you could say, Daytona 2008. I guess you could say, because we all know how bumpy that is in Legends cars or trucks or whatever. But that's what I compare it to, is Chicagoland.
Yeah, it looks like the 86 machine of Kyle Hess will come back out on the racetrack with heavy damage on that left side there. Jake, do you feel like he could maybe make some runs here, maybe get inside the top 15, top 10, or is this just a get the truck back out there type of situation?
Well, I mean, he's got options here. I mean, obviously, we're going to have some stage breaks. That's going to help him out a lot. And plus, he's got to stay in front of Christopher Blanchard big time to be able to get that lucky dog. And actually, Blanchard's still in the pits right now. Hess is actually still out there. So that's good news for Hess. So what he needs to do right now is it's going to get racy. These guys are still going to be racing, trying to get those stage points, the playoff points, all that cool stuff that we talk about. So what Hess needs to do is just stay out of any trouble that he possibly can. Let these guys do what they got to do. Get these 2 cautions out of the way, get back on the lead lap, and then go after them.
Well, the crap table is reset here. The dice are rolled across the table. We're going to start this thing off once again as the green flag waves and Zach Hartwick and that 12 machine takes us down to corner number 1.
Hartwick down on the bottom. Michael McKinnon going to be right behind him. Painter up top with Stephen Thomas pushing him. Check out Jose Luis Rivera. Haven't talked about him yet. He's up here in that top 6, as well as the animal Keith Bradley up here. Everybody trying to figure out a way, figure out which lane their truck is going to work best in. As right now looking like a little bit like last week at Daytona, except on a mile and a half. But Zach Hartwig leading him here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you see Kevin D'Elia in that 53 machine there on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. He is up 5 spots from the drop of the green flag, currently on that inside lane. He is right next to Stephen Thomas in that 23 Racing out of Chicago, Illinois. Hopefully he's a Cubs fan there, but he's down into corner 3 and 4. The big run here tonight. This is one of the rookies this season, Jake. Good to see these rookies really making an impact.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you know, from some of the rookies that I saw at Daytona last week, you know, these guys right here really showing these veterans that they've got an idea of how to do this. This ain't their first rodeo per se. So Kevin D'Elia from 11th to 5th making some moves right now, getting inside the top 5. And well, what better spot for him to actually learn these guys than being right smack dab in the middle of Stephen Thomas and the animal Keith Bradley. I mean, just awesome right there for him to be in that spot to learn from 2 veterans here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series.
Yeah, as we were talking about that, though, Justin Lumpkin shoved him up the racetrack there with a good inside nose move, pushed that 53 up the track. Now the 53 is behind the 18. We're single file down into about the 7th or 8th position as Justin White and Stephen Thomas are going out of here. He's going to have Jose Luis Rivera in the 20 right on that back end out of corner number 4. 13 laps into the Darren's nail gun repair 350. Stage number 1, Jake, is going to come to an end on lap 30. We're going to run to stage number 2, 65 laps there. And then the end of the race will come on lap 40. 5 sets of tires for these drivers here tonight and 100% fuel capacity as that we have a battle for the lead down the backstretch.
Painter has had enough of it. He's trying to go to the outside, maybe get this run on the top. Hartwig trying to keep it down on the bottom. Painter actually trying a little bit of a side draft to maybe pull Hartwig back. We'll see which lane Michael McKinnon will go, see if he gets up here and tries to push Painter past Hartwig. But Hartwig will get that lap as Painter's still running up that top lane. Now it looks like Bradley's going to go down to the bottom. It might be 2 by 2 going down the back stretch, Will.
Yeah, almost looked like contact there off of corner number 2 of the 99. Almost tapped that right side fender of the 12 of Zach Hartwick. We're still side by side out of the corner. Michael McKinnon's got a courtside seat to this action, though. He is just eating popcorn, watching this battle ensue, watching for his window of opportunity as we make it lap 15 into corner number 1. Still the battle for the lead rages on with Zach Hartwick in the 12. Devin Painter in the 99, still side by side off corner number 2.
Painter got that lap by 1,000th of a second. You see how hard these drivers are and see how much the pack is cluttered up right now. I'm telling you, it looks just like Daytona last week. Painter getting off of there, and Painter is going to be clear. Now he's going to pull Michael McKinnon with him. Now Hartman will drop back to 3rd. Here comes the champion, Keith Bradley. He's going to slide to the inside of Hartman. Hartwig starting to drop back very quickly. Already back 4 spots in a sense of 1 lap. Now he will find a little bit of a room jumping in front of Justin White and going to slide right into that 4th spot.
Yeah, you see the animal in that 29 machine has brought out a fresh paint scheme for tonight's race. They always say, Jake, if you look good, you feel good, you play good. 29 machine is up to 3rd spot right now. That Nazareth 360 Racing Network sponsored machine right there. Last year's champion, the animal, here tonight. He is hungry. He is up already 4 spots in this race.
He is showing them why he was the champion last season, the animal, Keith Bradley. Putting the pressure right now on Michael McKinnon and Devin Painter. Basically, these are some of these guys just trying to make it to that caution break, get in, get some tires, maybe make a little bit of some type of adjustments to their brake pass or whatever adjustments that they can make. Right now, the front 3 very comfortably in single file formation. Now Hartwick's going to drop into single file formation along with Justin White. But check it out. Bradley, he wants even more. Goes to the inside of Michael McKinnon for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, if we could ride on board with the 29 machine of Keith Bradley and see his point of view here, as it looks like he's going to make a run for Devin Painter into 1 and 2. To see the maneuver there, as you talked about it, Jake, we're very tight here. It's an almost airside. Oh my goodness, as the 29 just threw that tail in front of the 13 of Michael McKinnon on the top side. We're right on board here with the animal and see how much pressure he wants to put on the 99 here early on.
Yeah, he's just going to basically just ride right here. I mean, these guys have been basically using, I guess you could say, a slingshot maneuver like you would see last week at Daytona. But with these trucks and how aero-dependent that these trucks are, you've got to keep momentum. You got to be able to keep the momentum going through the corner, down the straightaway, whatever you got to do to make sure. I mean, it's all a momentum game, Will. And if you're out of that momentum, then you're basically going to be out of the lead pack, which right now Brady the Buff is the only one that's out of that lead pack, obviously with damage that he had. But I mean, basically it's all a momentum game, especially here at these mile and a halves.
Yeah, you see the boss man, the 24 machine. Pretty good run last week, Jake. We had all that calamity to end that race. A lot of guys who ran very good during the duration of that race, unfortunately, got caught up in a lot of accidents there at the end. I believe he was battling for the lead into 1 and 2, got caught up in about a 3-truck accident that opened the door for Jason Morales and Kyle Hess to race it down to the finish there. As you see, you talked about it, a lot of slicing and dicing going on further back behind these leaders. But you see Keith Bradley, the animal, is going to go to the outside of Devin Pena in the 99, going to make it lap 22 into 1 and 2. Again, we have a side-by-side battle for the lead.
Side by side, the animal and Devin Painter up front here at Vegas. Side, really hard side drafting right there by Bradley, trying to pinch Painter down on that bottom lane that I was talking about earlier. How bumpy it is, and Bradley knows that. Wanting to try to pinch him down there, that way maybe he'll bottom out and have to get out of the gas before he slides up into him. Bradley using the track to his advantage to try to see if he can take the lead of this race early right here with just a handful of laps to go in stage number 1.
But as this is taking place, Jake, we also have another fast truck on the Speedway here tonight. That Grimes machine of Justin White. That too is up 10 spots from the top of the green flag. He's going to try to follow Michael McKinnon in that 13 to the inside of the 99. Little BOGO special here if he can get on that gas pedal, though. He has to worry, though. He has Justin Lumpkin in the 18 to the top side there. 24 laps into this race. 7 laps to go here in stage number 1.
Hard racing, and these guys know it, trying to get every little bit of stage points that they can. The one man right now not worrying about any of it right now is the animal, Keith Bradley, all by himself. Now Painter gets around Michael McKinnon. McKinnon's going to slide right back to Justin Lumpkin. Lumpkin's going to go to the top side. That'll try to bring Justin White to the bottom side. Stephen Thomas back. He's got a courtside seat for every bit of this right here, with the top 6 trucks trying to pull away from the pack right here with 6 laps to go in stage number 1.
Yeah, the leaders are single file into the corner here, and you see that multi-dimension of lanes there, Jake. You see some drivers go all the way up there in the corner, some drivers stay in the middle, some drivers go on the inside lane. Could that just be an indication maybe these tires are starting to get away from these drivers here in stage number 1?
I mean, honestly, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, everybody's sliding around all over the place. I mean, I talked about it, earlier. You asked what this track would be in comparison to, and I said Chicagoland, really hard on the tires. Well, Vegas is the same way, as bumpy as it is, the seams, everything that has to do with it. Yeah, the first 10 to 12 laps, yeah, it's going to be really crazy. It's going to be tight, and it still is. But eventually, yes, these tires right here, this is why everybody's getting so bent out of shape. And these guys really wanting to go to this top lane to try to get the runs off of the corner. The bottom, they're just pinching them down there, trying to get them out of the gas so they don't come up and hit them.
Yeah, we see this battle between Michael McKinnon and Justin Lumpkin. This is for the 3rd spot on the racetrack. A top 3 finish in this stage will award you bonus points going forward here this season. We're still trying to catch the animal there in the top side of the grid. The 29 machine here. He worked his way up there, up 6 spots from the drop of the green flag. Once he did, though, Jake, he's starting to separate from the field. As we jump back here, a few more battles are raging on here on the racetrack.
Yeah, a bunch of great battles right now. Robbie Richards back here. Phil Pappas, Jeff Merrick, and wow, the Joker, Joey Doucette, all the way from 32nd up to 15th. Merrick's actually 33rd, all the way up to 12th. Some of the bigger movers, I guess you could say, in the field. Phil Pappas also one of them, 22nd up to 13th. Everybody really battling their hearts out right now. And this is just outside the top 10 right now, Will, which actually 10th has actually gapped itself pretty good from the 11th spot. Kevin D'Elia being the 10th guy, and Ed Osborne being in 11th, almost a second separating those guys.
Yeah, 2 laps to go here in stage number 1 of the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. Watching the animal lead us into 3 and 4 there. Watch all of this jumble and this Jenga pieces here down the backstretch into 3 and 4. All these guys just trying to advance position here for the end of the stage as we come off of corner number 4. Going to make it 1 to go in stage number 1.
One more lap to go, and that's exactly what Bradley is waiting to see. Basically putting on a clinic right now, but Painter still in his tire tracks, Lumpkin still in Painter's tire tracks, along with Michael McKinnon and Stephen Thomas, the top 5, basically single file all the way back to the 10th spot.
As we come off of corner number 4, the animal in that 29 machine will claim stage number 1 here in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. You see Devin Painter right behind him. Justin Lumpkin is going to finish 3rd. Michael McKinnon 4th, Stephen Thomas 5th, Justin White 6th, Zach Hardwick 7th, Jacob Klinkart is up 12 spots from the drop of the green flag. He'll finish in that stage in the 8th position. And Jose Luis Rivera is going to finish 9th, and Kevin D'Elia is going to round out our top 10 there in stage number 1.
And that right there, how that finished, Will, I don't know if everybody got to see it right there, but Brady LaBeouf was about to go 1 lap down, and he did not go that 1 lap down, so he is going to stay on the lead lap. That is absolutely big for Kyle Hess in the 86, who is 2 laps down. He will be the beneficiary and get the lucky dog and be 1 lap down. That's exactly what Kyle Hess needed, because if Keith Bradley had lapped his teammate Brady LaBeouf, it would have completely screwed Kyle Hess from trying to get back, or to get the lucky dog right there. That's a big deal as we saw that right there. And looks like we're getting ready for some green flag pit stops.
Yes, sir. We'll stay alongside the racing action here from Las Vegas in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. We talked about that tire wear starting to become an issue there. We started to see some drivers slip up the racetrack as we see Keith Bradley is going to take us down, and it looks like the entire field will head down pit road.
Absolutely, and every single one of them going to go get 4 fresh tires. They have 5 sets, or that is the tire limit. The tire set limit for the race is 5 sets. 4 laying in the pits. The 5th one is going to be on the truck. So I got a feeling, honestly, Will, depending on how the cautions may go and how the race goes, I wouldn't be surprised that if all 5 sets are not, or will not have been used. Well, let me rephrase that. All 5 sets will be used by the end of the race, depending on how this race is going to play out.
And we look at that first stage, Jake, it was only a 30-lap run on those tires. You know, we're going to go a little bit longer there in stage number 2, about 5 laps longer. Is that going to be more of a factor in stage number 2 than we saw here in stage number 1?
I think it is. I mean, honestly, I think it's going to have a little bit to do with it, obviously. What it's got a lot to do with is the drafting that these trucks is going to be in. I mean, you're going to be in that dirty air, being real tight, and obviously, as I talked about the track, as you know, old and wore out as it is, obviously you're going to wear more tire. But the dirty air is going to be the real big key, because obviously everybody trying to get these stage points, everybody's going to stay tight. So I think this second stage is going to be really big on that, as far as the tire wear goes and everything. But I still think they'll be able to make it all the way to the end of the stage like they did this time. I believe they'll be able to make it all the way to the next stage. What's going to be real interesting, Will, is that third stage, where if it does go green, they're going to have to make a green flag pit stop.
And that's always a crazy aspect of these races here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. Just looking briefly there, we have some viewers from Australia tuning in here tonight. Jake, in this Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350, week number 1 at Daytona was crazy to say the least. We had Jason Morales win in the title-sponsored truck that night. It couldn't have been a more picturesque finish for the concerns of police survivors. Once again, we want to thank them for coming on board here this season. They ended a run for the Triple M Pulling Truck Series about 6 seasons here, but we are glad to have the concerns of police survivors as our title sponsor here. They do excellent work with police survivors, and they do awesome charitable things as well. We invite you to go check them out during this broadcast. But Jake, we're going to get things rocking and rolling here once again. Our new leader on the racetrack is going to be the 99 machine, Devin Painter. Take it away.
Yep, got Devin Painter right here. Gonna give him one more lap. Well, pace lights are still on, so we'll get one more lap right here. But, well, you talked about Devin Painter. Actually being the one that you were talking about was the sleeper pick. He's been actually out doing the picks that I had for this race at least. So Devin Painter really showing his worth of where he's at. I mean, granted, you know, Painter, let's not count him out. I mean, he knows how to get around some of these older tracks. If I'm not mistaken, last season when Rockingham was around, he just straight up waxed the field that particular night. Well, folks, I know I talked about Chicagoland a while ago. This place right here, kind of similar to Rockingham in the aspect of the asphalt of how this track is. You know, a lot of tracks that there is on the schedule, a lot of them have beat up surfaces. Homestead is one of them that comes to mind as well. So this is going to be a very, very interesting restart. We're going to see right here if Painter's going to be able to show his worth and be able to get away from some of these guys. Lumpkin being up top, Michael McKinnon going to be right behind Devin Painter. The Animal Keith Bradley going to be in 4th. Justin White in 5th. Stephen Thomas 6th. Jacob Klinkhart going to be 7th. Jose Luis Rivera 8th. Zach Hartwick going to be 9th. And Kevin D'Elia be the top 10 as we get ready for stage number 2. Barney the flag man holding that flag, holding it. Now he's waving it as the green flag is in the air. Devin Painter going to take him off into turn number 1. And going into turn number 1, he's going to get a huge launch right here. Literally almost maybe even half a second. Well, not even half a second. Actually, it's going to be about 2/10 of a second. Excuse me, folks. Over Justin Lumpkin. Big jump. But here comes Lumpkin trying to get the run going into turn 3 with Bradley. Got a lot of action going on around him with Michael McKinnon and Stephen Thomas all trying to battle inside the top 5.
The 99 machine will lead us our first lap here in stage number 2. He'll head the spear that goes into corner number 1, though. As you mentioned, though, Jake, a lot of traffic behind him. A lot of moving pieces. You see the 13 of Michael McKinnon there. You see the 2 of Justin White as well. But we are single file on the top side lane there on the backstretch down to 3 and 4.
Yeah, everybody trying to run on that top lane, try not to be down on the bottom. Everybody basically is where you think your truck's going to be the fastest at, where you've been feeling so good this week in practice. You see different lines, but mostly everybody in a single file formation, at least for about the top 7 to 8 trucks. Justin White being the caboose of that line. Now, Jose Luis Rivera, the only one that will jump out of line to try to jump around Michael McKinnon on the bottom. Going to try to use that draft off Jacob Klinkhart on the inside. Jose Luis Rivera should be able to pull past him and hang out Michael McKinnon. But like I said, the top 8 trucks starting to seriously pull away right now. It's the top 7 trucks now starting to pull away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, actually past that top 10, we have some 3 wide battles taking place there on that backstretch. You see how crazy it gets there past the top 10 positions. All these guys trying to move up the grid here. We have a 3 wide battle going into 3 and 4. That's going to include Dana Shepard there right in the middle of that sandwich. He's going to escape it though off of 4. You see how frantic these drivers are. They're past the top 10. They know they're losing pace. They know they have to get back in that draft, Jake. What do you think is going to be the key to them getting up there? As you see, they're just all fighting each other.
I mean, you talked about it. Well, the key to them getting back to the leaders is they got to be single file, but everybody wanting to try to get to the front and be able to lead the pack. Everybody thinks that their truck is better up front, leading up, well, basically leading the pack. I mean, like I said, that's exactly what they're thinking. But now, this is going to be the key. This may actually help them, as now the lead pack starting to actually get very racy right now with Stephen Thomas right now trying to dump it below Justin Lumpkin. Clinkart actually looked to the inside, thought better of it, slid right back up to the top. So for a brief second right there, everyone kind of fanned out and everybody got to starting to racing. That might be what the pack from 8th on back needs to be able to get back up to these guys. But if they stay in single file formation, it's going to be hard to catch them.
Yeah, Clinkhart's been very fast here tonight behind the wheel of that 5 machine. He's up 15 spots from the drop of the green flag. He's very comfortable, though, inside that top 5. One of those drivers last week, Jake, that had an incredible run at Daytona as well. You see, though, Keith Bradley, the 99 machine of Devin Painter, and you also see the 18 of Justin Lumpkin here. But we have a side-by-side battle for 4th, going across the start-finish line in corner number 1.
Clinkart has been trying to figure out a way around Stephen Thomas. Every single time gets a nose up under there. Now he's got the full truck up under him as we speak. Thomas still trying to run the top, gets the run off of the top, but then Clinkart dives it in real hard and keeps his truck there. That way Thomas cannot come down and block that advance. Still side by side off of turn number 4. I'm telling you, Jose Luis Rivera, as you talked about well earlier, these guys getting courtside seats. He's got it completely courtside, basically like Jack Nicholson at a Los Angeles Lakers game right now. That's how close it is right now for Jose Luis Rivera, watching all this unfold.
And Jose Luis Rivera, though, is going to hatch his buggy to the back of the 5 machine of Jacob Clinkart, who's trying to make it 2 for 1 here if he can get around the 18 machine of Justin Lumpkin. He opened that door for the 5 to get by, but boy, he is making it hard using that side draft to keep the 5 machine at bay. He's trying to catch the draft coming off the 29 machine of Keith Bradley and the 99 of Devin Painter. It looks like he will do it here in corners 1 and 2. Now we have Jacob Clinkart in the 3rd position as he goes roaring by the 18.
Started 20th all the way up to 3rd. One of the biggest movers in the field, that being the 5 of Jacob Clinkart. Now he's going to set his sights on last season's champion, Keith Bradley. And Bradley, not a slouch, obviously. And like I said, with a past champion, both go straight down to the bottom of the track, basically on the apron to cut the apron. You can't do that here at Vegas. It's not like Daytona, Talladega, or at the Atlanta Super Speedway. You can go below that white line to improve your position in any way, shape, fashion, or form. You can go anywhere on the track, so nothing wrong with the moves that they are making on that part. Clinkart still right up Keith Bradley's, Keith Bradley's tail. Jose Luis Rivera actually followed Clinkart through all of that. Now 4 trucks trying to separate themselves from the rest of the field.
And Jacob, as we're riding on board with the 5 machine of Jacob Clinkart here, does he want to sort of mirror the moves of the 29 machine of Keith Bradley and sort of just take that opportunity with the 29 if it comes up? Or does he just want to keep running his line, and if something happens between those two, he can go by?
It's possible. I mean, it's either way, honestly. I mean, the one thing you don't want to do is lose them with the momentum that you've had. I talked about the momentum earlier. You want to keep that momentum as best as you possibly can. Keep that truck wound up. You don't really want to get out of the gas in the wrong spot and lose that momentum. The trucks in general, all it is momentum. So wherever you can get the best momentum, I think is exactly where Jacob Clinkart needs to be at. Obviously, get the draft on the straightaways, but in the corners, he may want to try to dip out from behind Keith Bradley. That way that he's not going to get tight and push up the racetrack. As you see him going around Brady LaBeouf right here, I believe that was Brady LaBeouf that actually pulled down to the bottom of the track. So Brady's going to go 1 lap down on the field. See Brady still down on the bottom of the racetrack right now. Kyle Hess, I'm actually watching him. This is going to be the battle for the lucky dog spot. as Hess just now got on the backstretch. Brady over in turn number 3. That's going to be a battle that we're going to have to check out right here. But up front, Painter up top, Bradley down on the bottom. Battle for the lead off of turn number 2.
We watched this battle rage on right there, and you've seen Keith Bradley just sort of look for his opportunities as the animal that he is. He lies in the weeds, waiting for his opportunity to pounce like a lion in the jungle. As you see, Keith Bradley at 29, still trying to get around the 99. We crossed that start-finish line into 1 and 2. I believe this run's going to come off of corner number 2, as we've seen it all night long. He's also going to get a push from the 5 machine of Jacob Klinkart off of corner number 2. We are John Force drag racing down the backstretch.
Painter tried to actually side draft him, actually pinch him down into that bumpy area that I was talking about off of turn number 2. He tried to see if he could pull him back, but 3 and 4 not as bumpy. Bradley tries to jump up and see if he can clear himself, but Painter's not going to give it to him. Side by side as they go into turn number 1, and we have a caution on the Speedway interrupting this great battle.
Yeah, that's going to put a little bit of a pause on the clear skies that we had here in Las Vegas and the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. Only our second caution of the night, Jake, and it comes at about the halfway point here in stage number 2. With all the tightness and close racing we've seen, it's been pretty clean so far. But let's check out this on the pole instant replay.
And it was back there around the Adam Newton, Dane Hagen, Jacob Walker mark right at the start finish line right there. And I just saw what kind of occurred on that. It looked like that Newton was going to try to squeeze it 3 wide and put Walker up top. And then just came down, gets Hagen. Walker goes around. Hagen goes straight into the fence. Newton goes straight into the fence. Basically what it looked like was the same thing that happened earlier with Blanchard, Brady LaBeouf, and Kyle Hess coming off of turn number 4. Basically the same exact thing just happened. The only difference is Netcode did not play a part in this.
And we'll see this drone shot here. And you see it right there. The 47 just comes down just the slightest, makes contact with Dan Hagen. Unfortunately, he's going to collect the 44 machine as well here tonight, and it looks like it's gonna be some heavy. That's gonna be a head-on collision between those two trucks here on the front stretch. And we've looked at it here tonight, Jake, coming off of 2, how we go 3 wide, we get tight battles. Coming off of 4, it's the same thing. Is there any way these drivers can avoid this here tonight, or is that just the aspect of Vegas these guys have to put up with?
That's just the aspect, honestly. I mean, everybody trying to get every little inch that they can. With these runs that these guys are getting off of the corners, it's just a straight up aspect of truck racing here at Las Vegas. And the best of the best do it the same exact way. Kyle Busch would do it the exact same way in the Truck Series in real NASCAR. So I mean, it's all about the momentum. They get the momentum coming off of the corners. But, granted, it's nerve-wracking for the drivers to be in those situations, especially with runs happening behind you. Do I need to jump up and block this advance or not? It makes these drivers definitely watch all 4 corners all the way around their trucks, especially coming off these corners.
As we were under caution here in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350, will step aside for just a moment while these drivers form back up into 2x2. We'll be right back with more Stage 2 action here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network.
And welcome back to Las Vegas. Still under caution here at Vegas with the accident involving Dane Hagen and Jacob Walker, as well as Adam Newton, I believe it was. So you know, a lot of drivers right now trying to stick their nose where basically they don't need it to be, which is very unfortunate to see. But all these guys trying to get the runs off of the corners that I mentioned a while ago, as we're getting double file, getting ready to rock and roll once again here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series at Las Vegas. Keith Bradley, the leader, is going to elect to take the top lane right here, put Devin Painter down on the bottom. Clinkhart going to be in third with Jose Luis Rivera fourth. Stephen Thomas going to be in fifth with Justin Lumpkin going to be sixth. Michael McKinnon, Ed Osborne, Justin White, and Joey Doucette. Check out the Joker. We didn't even post a time in qualifying, and now he started 32nd all the way up to 10th. That's going to be real big for him. Another rookie in the field, that being the 60 of Jeff Merrick's going to be back there right beside Zach Hartwick, the top 12. And Hartwick actually on the pole this evening, not having the race that he actually envisioned having. Done a good job at the start. But now he's finding himself outside the top 10. But with all the momentums, all the crazy action that we have seen this evening, I'm telling you, he still got a shot. Any of these guys, anybody, even Kyle Hess, all these guys still got a shot to win this thing. Green flag is in the air. Bradley on the gas. Painter trying to catch back up as he's going to go side by side with Jose Luis Rivera going into turn number 1.
Oh, and you see that little bit of an elbows in the paint move there from Devin Painter in that 99. He's letting him know that he is in that lane right there. He's going to slide right in front of Stephen Thomas in that 23 machine. The 99 is going to occupy that second position here as we come off of corner number 4. The Animal will lead us the first lap on the green.
Going to be right behind him. Jose Luis Rivera going to be falling line in third. Clinkhart, we saw some of the moves he was making as well. Going to ride comfortably in the 4th spot. Lumpkin going to be in the 5th spot. All these guys, especially the ones in this top 4 train, trying to just secure where they're at to get to this stage 2 coming up here in a matter of laps. So right now Bradley still leads with Painter, Jose Luis Rivera, Clinkhart, and Lumpkin in the top 5.
With 6 laps to go here in stage number 2, we invite you at home to turn your TVs up. If you're listening along with us, turn the volume up on your phone, because we're going to give you the sights and sounds of Las Vegas.
Of 180 miles an hour with the C.O.P.S Truck Series here at Las Vegas. Awesome here. Just got one back in the fence. Believe that was Zach Hartwick in the fence. Everybody trying to get around him down the back straightaway. Up front, big time battle going on. Stephen Thomas, one of them, actually up here trying to get around Ed Osborne, trying to pull Justin White along with him. See if they can creep up into the top 5.
To go here in stage number 2. All of the bonus points are up for grabs. Keith Bradley, the Animal, is trying to put him on the table, just like Rounders. Pay that man his money as he's going to come off corner number 4 here. He's going to separate from the 99 of Devin Painter. You see, he's going to make it only 4 laps to go here. Sweep the stages down the corner.
side-by-side battle with Jose Luis Rivera down on the bottom. Lumpkin trying to figure out which lane he wants to go with. Rivera slides up just a little bit, almost with Painter, while Lumpkin goes into the fence as it's going to pull Blinkhorn right by on the outside. Big time moves right here with just a handful of laps as Lumpkin almost gets up there to Blinkhorn. And now Thomas is going to follow as suit. Lumpkin going to the back after he got into the turn 2 wall.
Yeah, I think Lumpkin there was just letting the 5 know going by that, okay, I see what you're doing there. I see you sort of say it there. Shout out Robert De Niro there as we're down the backstretch here. Keith Bradley, the animal, into 3 and 4. He's going to get the 1 to go off of corner number 4.
Bradley showing him why he is the champion, and Bradley is doing it right here. Painter in tow. Is Bradley going to take the white flag for this stage? Coming up on a lap truck with Dave Hagan. Hagan going to see if he can keep it on the lead lap. If he's able to, is Bradley going to go down to the bottom and try to hold off Devin Painter for this last lap?
Ride on board with the 99 machine. Devin Painter, we're going to watch the animal head into 3 and 4 here. Going to go to the inside of Dan Hagan in that 39, but the animal once again seems like he is hungry here tonight as he takes us across the start-finish line, wins stage number 2 with the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350.
Great drive by Keith Bradley. The animal going to win stage number 2. Devin Painter will take second. Jacob Blinkhart is going to get third. Stephen Thomas fourth. Jose Luis Rivera fifth. Justin White. Justin Lumpkin, after getting into the fence and almost completely killing his race from a standpoint of where I was sitting, still going to get 7th. Michael McKinnon will get 8th. Ed Osborne going to get him some points in 9th. And check it out. Bobby Richards, 24th up to 10th, will get that final stage point.
Let's see if we can't catch up with our back-to-back stage winner here. He sweeps the stages in Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. Let's catch up with Keith Bradley, the animal. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you won both stages here at Vegas in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350, and you sort of did it in dominant fashion, separating there in those long runs. Tell us about your race so far.
That's going pretty good so far. Just laying back the first couple laps, seeing how the guys are running and taking my moves when I can get them, and then just kind of put myself in a pace once when I get my own rhythm. I think I'm fine.
Coming off last week's craziness at Daytona, is this more of a zen race, if you will, a sort of not high banking, but a little bit tighter of a race as the field heads down pit road here?
I mean, yes and no. I think races like this outside of the super speedways, you kind of get the who's of who you're going to have to deal with as far as the championship goes. So that I just feel like super speedway races takes all the talent out of it. Truly gets
Speaking with Keith Bradley, driver of the 29 machine, the animal of the Nazareth 360 Racing Network entry here tonight. And Keith, I wanted to ask you, what's going to get the job done here? We see you sweep the stages. What's going to put that 29 in victory?
Well, just staying patient and then just taking runs when you can get them, taking passes when you can get them, and just saving your truck. I think I've used this word before, survival. If you can get to the end and survive all the way up to the end, I think you'll be fine. Track position is huge here, so getting on and off pit road is going to be a pretty hectic moment.
There we go. And before we let you go, Keith, with those back-to-back stage wins, is there anybody you want to thank or anybody you want to shout out before you put that 29 in victory lane?
Oh, just all my teammates over here at Mission 1 Esports. It feels good to get 2 stage wins for the new team here and just building some momentum for the rest of the race and hopefully the continuation of the season here and you guys for broadcasting and everybody out there watching. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That was a driver of the 29 machine, Keith Bradley there. And Jake, we look at what he's done so far here in this race, and I got to say, he's probably the most dominant truck so far.
So far he is, but there is a couple of guys that are really close to where he's at. That being Devin Painter. I've seen Jose Luis Rivera make some serious moves. Jacob Blinkhart as well. We talked about him a while ago making some very daring moves on the bottom to be able to get that momentum that I keep talking about. These guys right here, these guys will be the ones that is going to give Keith Bradley a run for his money coming to the end of this race. But check this out, 2 drivers staying out right now on the field. Blake Lothian and Jeffrey Sickles. Lothian actually the last one to actually get a time in on qualifying, started 31st all the way up to first now, and Jeffrey Sickles 13th all the way up to second.
We look at who's going to take the drop of the green flag here. You're going to have Blake Lothian taking us to the drop. Jeff Sickles there in that 22 is going to roll off second. Devin Painter in that 99 third. Keith Bradley, the animal, we've seen his dominance here tonight. He's going to roll off fourth. Jose Luis Rivera 5th, Jacob Plinkart 6th, Justin White 7th, Stephen Thomas 8th, Justin Lunkin in that 9th position, and Michael McKinnon in 10th. And I wanted to ask you, Jake, here, what's been your biggest surprises of the race so far?
I mean, the hard racing. I knew we was going to get some very, very hard racing here at Vegas, but I think the surprise in it has just been, how hard they are racing this early here at Vegas. Honestly, I figured, some of them may want to try to single file it out. The front pack, probably about the first 10 trucks have done that. They have figured out some kind of a formula to try to get it straight and keep it in a line. Everybody from about 11th on back, it looks like basically an Animal House, if you will, shouting out to the movie National Lampoon's Animal House. Basically, that's what it looks like from 11th on back. It's just everybody very, very aggressively trying to get to the front of their pack to see if they can lead the charge to get up to the single file pack up the front.
And you see now the pace lights are off of the pace truck. We're about to go green flag racing once again. No more stage breaks here. It's been a very clean race so far, so I wouldn't expect too many cautions here at the end of the race. Although, Jake, we've seen that volume get turned up. We've seen that intensity also flare up here tonight. This is Sin City. The drop of the green flag is in the air. Blake Lothian will take us down to the corner number 1.
We're going to see what Blake Lothian and Jeffrey Sickles is going to have right here with the older tires than the other driver. Sickles actually going to slide back. Painter's going to get a jump and get around Sickles. He's actually going to pull Jose Luis Rivera as Sickles dropping back very, very quickly. Bradley's going to dispose of him. Now up front, Lothian down on the bottom. Painter up top, getting help from Jose Luis Rivera coming off turn number 4, drag race to the line.
Yeah, Blake Lothian, the only truck not to head down pit road there last time by. You see what fresh equipment does for you there. It's 99. But we're going to go 3 wide for a second. There is Keith Bradley's going to find that opportunity on the inside lane. We're 3 wide for a second. The 29 of Keith Bradley, 43 of Blake Lothian, the 23 of Stephen Thomas. They got Blake Lothian in an ice cream sandwich heading into 3 and 4 as Devin Painter takes us off of corner number 4 as our race leader.
Bradley's getting into Lothian. Lothian trying to pinch him down on the white line. Actually made a little contact. Still 3 wide for that second spot. Painter loving this out of his rear air. Lothian not wanting to give up that second spot. Now Jose Luis Rivera, he'll back out. Here comes Bradley, still going to get the run down on the bottom. Now Rivera's going to slide out and push Bradley. See if both of these drivers can get around Blake Lothian coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, the next one shot here in the NASCAR 360 race. We're watching from the tail of the 99 of Devin Painter, our race leader. We're also going to jump on board Jose Luis Rivera there. He's been quietly fast here tonight. I gotta say, Jake, he's just lingered inside the top 10. He's moved inside the top 5 now. 5 spots from the drop of the green flag. This might be one of those guys that are just taking their time in this race when the opportunity arrives. So take advantage.
Yep, laying in the weeds more like an animal, if you will, like Bradley. Jose Luis Rivera, that is, trying to just lay in the weeds, but you see it right here, Will. All of these guys getting in a line. Top 5 trucks, if you will, on the tail end of that Sickles trying to hold on as well. But you see it right here, top 6 trucks starting to gap themselves from Stephen Thomas. Stephen Thomas leading the rest of the pack as they go into turn number 3. This right here is when you're going to really see if the second pack has got anything for the front pack, especially with Sickles and Lothian out on old tires.
Yeah, one of those drivers that are in that second pack is a 16 machine, the Joker of Joey Doucette. But we're going to watch a battle right here for third take place at Jose Luis Rivera in the 20. He's going to go to the inside of Blake Lothian, the 43, off of corner number 2. They're side by side here down the backstretch. They're going to get a huge run into 3 and 4. Jose Luis Rivera might try a little BOGO action here. Might try to the back fender of the 29. 29 saw that coming. No, Keith Riley throws that tail right in front of the 20, kills that momentum for single file once again down to corner number 1.
And while this is going on, Bradley's trying to get the right rear Painter, and he will get there up top. Now he's going to try to pinch Painter down on the white line, just like Painter was trying to do him before. Painter on the bottom. Bradley gets the run up top. Jose Luis Rivera will try to follow suit, as it looks like all the top trucks, 4 of them, look like they was actually going to try to go to the top and try to figure out a way around Devin Painter. But check it out, Jose Luis Rivera 3 wide going into turn number 1.
As Jose Luis Rivera thought about going to the inside on the front stretch there, boy, he is eager and antsy to get to the top side of the grid. Right now, he is trying everything he can. I think for the 99 of Devin Pinner, he's doing an excellent move there, keeping the 29 on the top side of the racetrack. He let the hammer eat up that inside lane. He will separate just like he did in stage number 2. But coming off the course of the 99 of Devin Pinner leading the way, but you can feel the intensity. You can feel the volume start to turn up here in Sin City as the animal goes to the inside. We have a battle for the lead into corner number 1.
Painter going to go to the top. Now he's going to give Jose Luis Rivera behind him. Clinkhart going to be behind Bradley. They are catching a lap truck going into turn number 3. Will that play a factor in how this lead will get shaken down here in this race? Bradley still down on the bottom. Painter up the top. Clinkhart on the bottom. Jose Luis Rivera up top. 2 by 2 with the scrapping cars right behind them. Battle up front, still heating up with Bradley, not wanting to give it away.
And folks, for watching along with us here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, we have still over 60 laps to go. These guys are battling it out, as it seems, 10 laps to go here in this race. We're going to check out the second pack here. So we've seen all night long, Jake. The second pack drivers here, although they might not have the pace of the leaders, they're still scrapping it out for positions.
Every position matters here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series. Every position, every point matters. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. They know that the stage points is out of the way, the playoff points is out of the way. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. This right here is basically moving day, if you will, turn off. You've already went through the first 2. Now it's the moving time to try to set yourself up for that last 30 lap run, give or take. And that's what all the scrapping's doing behind them. And check it out, Bradley, very, very impressive up front right here as the lap truck of Jeff Berry stuck right in the middle of this pack right here. Bradley's still trying to find a way around him, and Clinkhart trying to put some pressure on Jose Luis Rivera for third.
Yeah, Clinkhart goes to the inside of the 20 into 3 and 4. You talked about that lap truck of Jeff Merrick there. I like the paint scheme with Jeff Merrick. It reminds me of that old Spice Cow and out of the legend of Rick there. Finish line though. We're going to make a lap of 83 and 1 and 2. As you see, Keith Bradley still trying to get around the 99 here, but in my mind here, Jake, it could be the 29 is just playing with the 99 there, letting them know I'm still here, just knocking on the door, if you will. We saw what happened in stage number 2. Once the 29 got away from the field, he separated. You see the 99 is starting to slide up the racetrack just a little bit.
He's starting to slide up because obviously these tires are starting to play a factor. Bradley trying to save his as well, basically letting Painter do his thing up front. You'll see Painter get down on the bottom, maybe slide up just a little bit. You're not going to see a whole lot of sliding going on M1 and 2, but 3 and 4, like I said earlier, is the corner that's not really bumpy. It's the real high speed portion of it. You see Painter right here slide up just a little bit. Bradley kept it straight in on the bottom. That's going to play dividends. That's going to pay dividends big time for Bradley. As you see him get the run, and he's going to go to the top side, maybe try to challenge Painter to lead once again.
You see the 99 of Devin Painter, though. He's going to go low side, middle, thinking the 29 still on the top side of the racetrack. It's a little bit of an okey-doke move there out of the animal. He's going to go to the inside into 3 and 4. Keith Bradley is trying to resume the penthouse position here in Las Vegas off the corner number 4. He'll clear the 99. No, we're still nose to nose across that start-finish line in the corner 1 and 2. See Jeff Merrick goes trying to push along the 99 and Devin Painter on the top side lane. That is a lap truck, that 60 machine is, as we come off of corner number 2. This battlefield lead still rages on.
Everybody at home on the edge of their seat, I know I am right now. These guys putting on a show here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series tonight on Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Painter up top now. Merrick, the lap truck, trying to see if he can get this lap back. Merrick actually 3 laps down until the leader Devin Painter right now, as he is up in the middle of this lead battle. Bradley still trying to find that way around Painter. He better watch his tailgate, because here comes Jacob Clinkhart trying to see if he can make a move to get around Bradley. And do not count out Jose Luis Rivera, as he is up here in the middle of this battle as well.
See Keith Bradley on the top side of the lane. He's now stuck behind Jeff Merrick on the 60. They're going side by side. That's the start finish line. 9 and 99 still back at it for the battle for the lead. I see Jacob Clinkhart there, a little indecision, a little bit of a looseness coming out of the 5 right there into the corner of Jacob. I wanted to ask you, as you come down the backstretch here, this battle is still kind of fizzling out right now into 3 and 4. We talked about this green flag run and what is the longest portion of this race. When do you see these drivers head down pit road if we have green flag pit stops?
I wouldn't think, honestly, you know, you may see some guys go more, you may see some guys go less than trying to split it in the middle. But if, you know, that would be my take on it, is to split it right in the middle. You want to go however long you got to go, split it right down the middle, however many laps there is left in this stage. You want to split it right down the middle, that way you got an even amount on the first run as you would on the second run. So once we get to that halfway mark, I think that's exactly when you're going to see your waves of drivers going down the
Single file up here at the top of the grid. I'm looking at some guys that have now creeped up inside the top 10, if not just outside the top 10. You have Dana Shepard in that 45. He is up 24 spots from the drop of the green flag, currently in 11th. You have Sean Hamilton, Mr. O Canada, in the 96 machine. He is up 25 spots from the drop of the green flag right now in the 9th position. We talked about it, Jake. The Joker himself, he is up to 5th here tonight. Up to 27 spots from the drop of the green flag.
Basically the biggest mover in the field, that being Joey Doucette right now. Like you said, 32nd all the way up to 5th. Got Stephen Thomas right behind him as they come off of turn number 2. Doucette not really wanting to try to force his hand just yet, not wanting to go all in at this particular point in the race. Still got plenty of laps left to go. We're talking about it with Joey Doucette. He's there when it counts at the end of these races, so do not count out that 16 truck. He was actually a sleeper as well, not necessarily a sleeper, because, well, we know how good Joey Doucette is on these mile-and-a-half tracks. He was just probably a sleeper from where he was starting at in the field.
Yeah, exactly. We see a huge drop-off there, Jake, from we're looking at around Eric Zimmerman, Kyle Hess, and Jeff Sickles. We have a huge gap between the field. We can actually see it here now as we're 360 Racing Network. We have the first pod, the second pod, and the third pod here tonight at Vegas, as we just saw a battle between Joey Doucette. He is under fire from Stephen Thomas in that 23 machine for position on the racetrack. You see they're side by side in corners 3 and 4. Here the 48 machine, the dude wipes entry of Robbie Richards right there, as well. Justin Lunkin is creeping inside the top 10 all night long here tonight, as this battle will be side by side across the start finish.
Doucette still up top. Robbie Richards now going to try to push Stephen Thomas by him as well. I'm telling you, big time racing going on all the way through the field as Thomas is going to slide up just a little bit and try to see if he can clear himself. Doucette actually in the fence, still in the fence, going into turn number 3. That's going to open the door for Robbie Richards to get by. Justin Bumpkin's going to get by. Sean Hamilton's going to get right up to the tailgate. Now he's going to try to advance and try to get around Joey Doucette as he got into the wall in turn number 3.
And Joey Doucette finds him all by himself, just like Allen on top of the roof in the hangover movie. Nobody is looking for him on that top side lane as the Joker now has to file in the single file lane now in the backstretch into 3 and 4. We are gapped out single file here on lap 95 here tonight. So a long way to go here in this race, Jake, but a few factors come into play. You're looking at tire wear, you're looking at green flag, pit stops. So some of these folks you see at the top of the grid here may not be the guys you see at the end.
Absolutely not, but the man that's up at the top of this grid is the elder Keith Bradley Taylor, actually back to 3rd right now. Clinkhart stuck in the sandwich between both of them, that being Jacob Clinkhart in that 2nd spot. But yeah, I mean, some of these guys back here in the back, like you said, with these guys up front, they've got the speed. It's going to be really interesting when we get to these green flag pit stops, or maybe not at this point, as we do have a caution on the Speedway.
Only our 3rd caution of the night here in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. It's been a very clean race so far. Once we get that on the pole, instant replay revved up for you, we'll see exactly what brought that out. And I have to assume it happened in that 2nd pack there, or the 3rd pack. We've seen all that racing, or maybe even off of corner number 4, we've seen other cautions occur.
And from what I'm seeing right here, I believe it may have been something to do with Jeff Sickles. He was actually running up in this pack. We're going to try to get a look and see what happened to Sickles. And yes, he did. He actually got in to, I believe it was Jonathan Munda coming off of turn number 2 on the backstretch. Munda tried to he thought he was clear, and then he just slid straight up in front of Sickles, put them both in the fence, and then Munda comes straight up the racetrack and turns another guy. Another guy gets into it. Sickles actually goes straight into the fence. So a lot of action that happened over there in turn number 3.
Once we get that replay revved up for you, that was an awesome breakdown there, Jake, for the folks at home. And you see some damaged trucks there on the inside of the apron. And let's see exactly what brought that out for you in just a minute. But again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't already, please like us on YouTube, subscribe. Also jump over to Facebook, follow at Nazareth Racing on there as well. Share all these videos, like all the videos, comment as well. We read all of your live chats during every single broadcast here. But we have races on Mondays and Fridays here, Jake. But we'll see what brought out our 3rd caution of the night.
Yep, and coming off, basically, it was on the backstretch, as I said. Eric Zimmerman was one of those guys right smack dab in the middle of it. And like I said, Munda just tried to come up. Sickles was there. And, Munda thought that he was able to jump up, and then he was not able to, stuff Sickles into the fence. And then Munda down on the apron tried to come back up the racetrack, and Zimmerman was there. And then Zimmerman gets tagged. He comes up. Sickles trying to get around it as well. Just a big time stack up that happened.
As it is officially revved up there, that was our on the pole instant replay, Jake, and gave the folks at home an awesome breakdown of what occurred in our 3rd caution flag of the night here. And you see Jeff Merrick there, still in the lingering in the top side of the grid. He's still that lap down as you see him head down pit road here. The 5 machine at Jacob Clinkhart. Keith Bradley is going to be 2nd. Jose Luis Rivera 3rd. Stephen Thomas 4th. Robbie Richards in 5th. And you see some big movers in this race. Joey Doucette up 27 spots up to 6th. Justin Lumpkin in that 18 machine up to 7th. Blake Lothian still lingering inside the top 10, up 23 spots from the drop of the green flag. He's currently 9th. And you also see Dana Shepard and Phil Pappas will round out our top 10. And for Dana Shepard in that 45, I gotta say, Jake, I've seen his name kind of bob inside and outside of the top 10, but to be up 26 spots in this race is still an achievement.
Well, Will, we talked about this honestly with some of these guys that was back there in the back. We see this on a regular basis every single week. That yes, it is good to start up front, but most of the time, some of these guys that are back in the middle part of the pack, or even at the very back, that being Joey Doucette and Dana Shepard. Dana Shepard started 35th up tonight, and Joey Doucette, as you mentioned a minute ago, 32nd up to 6th. We see that on a regular basis with these guys that start in the back and work their way through the field, and then they're up there at the end to try to capitalize at the finish of the race. So, big time deal right here to see this. And well, like I said, we talked about it as well, Will. I mean, we saw this coming, especially with Doucette back there as well. And Dana Shepard, let's not count him out, as I said before. Big time deal right there for Dana to be up inside the top 10. I'm telling you, this right here, it's coming down to crunch time. We talked about the intensity that's going to ramp up. It's getting there. I'm telling you, Will, it is getting there right now with under 40 laps to go.
Yeah, we're gonna have about 41 laps to go there on the drop of the green flag. And Jake, I like to think of it as the Ryan Newman effect. We always knew the Rocket Man could qualify very good, a lot of pole positions. When it came to actually racing and winning races, Ryan Newman, I gotta say, was an excellent race car driver, but may have not won as many races there. Kyle Busch, on the opposite of fact, maybe not be the best qualifier, but boy, we know what he can do on the racetrack. So exactly what you were saying there, Jake. Some of these guys might not be the best qualifiers per se, but they make their way through the grid using that draft, using that hard work, putting the nose where it has to be, increasing their positions on the racetrack. And just as you mentioned, we see that week in and week out.
Absolutely, week in and week out. And that's why we love watching the C.O.P.S Truck Series here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. But here we go, everybody getting double file. Clankhart going to be down on the bottom. Bradley up top. Pace lights is out. Jose Luis Rivera, Robbie Richards, and Stephen Thomas. That is going to be the top 5 as we are getting ready. Waiting, still waiting. In the box. Green flag is in the air. Clankhart off on the gas. Going to get a big jump right here on Bradley. Bradley's going to be back into a side-by-side battle with Jose Luis Rivera down the turn on the road.
Corner number 2 here. We can tell the speed he's had all night long. Now he is in that prime position, taking us into 3 and 4. Did you see that side by side? We have a truck in the wall in the entry of 3 and 4. Truck in the wall. Caution flag will fly momentarily. That is Justin White. The 2 machine just nosedived on the topside wall.
And it collected a bunch of drivers right there. Bunch of drivers getting caught up. Adam Johnson, one of them that I saw as well. We're fixing to get that caution right here for you. And we talked about him just a second ago. Dana Shepard, big time deal right here for Dana. Dana trying to get lined up right here and try to get rolling. Thought he was clear from the 85 truck, I believe it was. And then everybody stacking up around this. Justin White, one of those, also getting involved. I'm telling you, Will, we talked about the intensity fixing to ramp up. And right now, I mean, there it was right there. Basically, a big one here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's tough for the 45 of Dana Shepard there. I know we had a lot of fans watching along with us here on Nazareth 360 Racing Network, but it looks like he might still keep that truck rolling on the track. It looks like the worst of this, though, is going to be the 2 machine of Justin White, who is right behind these 2 guys, and unfortunately is just going to get entangled in this mess here down the backstretch. You're going to watch here a little bit of a closer look for the 45, and you see just the briefest of contact there on that right side back fender is going to send the 45 into the wall. Going to have some pretty heavy damage to that right side tire, maybe enough, though, to keep that truck running. But you see the 2 machine of Justin White really nowhere to go on the racetrack.
And there goes Raul Meza, Zach Hartwick going to get involved in this as well. Adam Johnson also getting involved. One guy that actually was very close to getting caught up in this was Devin Painter in the 99. He was up there battling for the lead at one point with Keith Bradley and was able to barely sneak by this. But you talked about the two of Justin White. Justin, like you said, had nowhere to go at that point. He had Ed Osborne to his inside. He saw what happened, and when he tried to go left, Ed Osborne was there, and then it just basically it was like a bouncy ball, just bounced him straight off, basketball more or less, bounced him straight off of Ed Osborne, straight back up in to the wrecked trucks of Dana Shepard and the others. And there goes Raul Meza, gets a little bit of help from Zach Hardwick. Everybody trying to check up. Just a big time calamity over in turn number 3. Zach actually is going to be able to continue. A couple guys driving past him. You see Kyle Hess actually one of them as well. Kyle got back on the lead lap and was able to miss that, so good deal for him. Not so much for Justin White and Dana Shepard.
Yeah, for the 12, our pole sitter, Zach Hartwick there. Looked like his night could have gotten even worse. He's just trying to scrape out a good finish here tonight. It's not been his best run here in the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, but definitely going to try to crack inside the top 15 before that checkered flag flies. And Jake, you just mentioned it here. The intensity's starting to build up. The volume's starting to turn up as well. Now we have Jose Luis Rivera as our race leader, and you see damage though. That's an excellent shot there out of Adam Flieger here, a wonderful producer of the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. There is heavy damage on the right side of Jacob Klinkart's 5 machine there. If we could get another shot of that maybe when they come into 3 and 4, there is some racing stripes on that machine.
There is, and I just now had just seen this actually, Will. I mean, these guys were racing very, very hard going into turn number 3. They were still waiting on that caution to come out. The caution came out very late, and when it came out, Klinkart checked up, and Jose Luis Rivera tagged him in the back end. Actually, it looked like that Robbie Richards was one of them that was trying to check up as well, and Lothian got in the back of him and spun him coming off of turn number 4. So that late caution that came out actually gives some of these guys a little bit of damage when it all happened.
And as we have this break in the action, I do once again want to thank the Concerns of Police Survivors for being a wonderful title sponsor here this season. We want to thank Mr. Lee Murphy, whose kind donation made all of this possible. Mr. Murphy stepped up immediately with the financial backing to ensure all the sponsorships were covered for this season and asked for nothing in return except for that small logo you see on the tail end of these trucks here, and that's in memory of his father here. So we want to thank Lee for your friendship and support of the Concerns of Police Survivors in the Nazareth Sim Racing community. We couldn't be more excited to have them on board here this season. We invite you to go check them out, Concerns of Police Survivors. You just Google that right now and it'll show you all the excellent things they do, that foundation to helping police survivors here. But Jacob, this is the meat and potatoes of this race. We have about 30 laps to go to end this thing.
This is when the crunch time will happen right here, actually inside their pit windows. So if it's inside that 30 lap to go mark, that's exactly what they need to do. I was talking about them having to split that last stage. Well, they're not going to have to worry about that because they're actually inside of splitting that last stage. The last stage was going to be 75 laps. If you split that down the middle, it's about 37 and a half, so 38 laps, because obviously they can't go half lap, Will, but they're inside that now. So now they don't have to worry about pitting. They're all about go, go, go at this point. It's all about just hammer down. Now, if, say, they want to pit, late caution comes out, they do have extra sets of tires. And to be honest with you, they're crazy if they don't go and get those tires. We saw what happened to Jeff Sickle and Blake Lothian. All of that happened. Lothian actually held on with the lead pack for a good portion of when he stayed out, but Sickles went straight to the back. So if this sucker goes green, they should be fine to be able to make it all the way. But if a late caution comes out, watch out, because that's when this whole race is going to get turned on its head.
3 guys to watch here in the conclusion of this race. We're going to watch Jacob Klinkart in the 5, Keith Bradley, the animal, in the 29. We'll also slide down a little bit and watch Blake Lothian in that 43 truck. We saw him in old equipment, was able to pit down with everybody else. Now he's in the mix. Also watch Joey Doucette in that 16 machine. He's coming quick, fast, and in a hurry. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling once again. Like Frank Sinatra once said, this is Vegas, baby, as Jose Luis Rivera will take us across the start-finish line as the green flag is in the air and the field roars down on the move.
As leaders have done in the past, they get a huge jump, and Jose Luis Rivera gets a good jump. Klinkart on the top lane. Bradley's going to go by. Stephen Thomas is going to go by. Klinkart up in the top lane. Let's basically all three of them go as Jose Luis Rivera now going to be under fire. Keith Bradley. Bradley goes straight to the top, trying to catch Jose Luis Rivera sleeping just a little bit. The battle is on for the lead here in Vegas.
You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them here tonight as we are side by side for the race lead in the 1 and 2. Jose Luis Rivera is trying to go toe to toe with the animal himself. He's gonna creep up the racetrack just a little bit there and let the animal know, hello, it's me, as we go down to 3 and 4, still battling out for the race lead, but a caution is out here. The Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350.
Very unfortunate to see that caution happen. One of those guys getting caught up in it. The number 44 of Jacob Walker getting involved in it as well. And looked like, I mean, that was just a big time stack up from what I'm looking at right here, Will. I mean, Huck Wigington was one of them that kind of got stacked up as well. You're going to see it right here on the instant replay right here. And, you know, Huck, he just basically just lost it on his own. I thought really Walker actually got into the back of him, but you see it right there. I mean, big time separation between Walker and Wigington, and just straight up lost it right there on the top lane. Zach Hartwick, one of them as well, and then Walker, just an innocent bystander. Wigington slides straight up and takes Walker out as well. So very unfortunate to see that, but that happens especially on that top lane. We talked about the bumpiness that this track is. Yeah, granted, that bumpiness can bottom you out and make you tight, but up in that top lane, bottoming out, it can also make you very loose, and that's what happened to Huck Wigington right there.
Yeah, maybe we can ride on board with the 00 there and see that wheel movement of Huck Whittington, as you mentioned there, Jake, that truck just got absolutely sideways from him there. We can hop on board just to see his point of view, and we'll see this truck just slide from underneath him here. We're gonna ride on board, and you see it right there. We're actually riding on board behind the 00 of Huck Whittington, and you'll see we're gonna ride on board with the 44 of Jacob Walker. And yeah, the 00 there. And you talked about riding that high side lane. Is that just not getting off the gas enough there on the entry of the corner, or is that just trying to hammer it out of the corner?
Well, what he was doing was he was actually straddling that seam, and you see that seam right there, this track having two seams, basically separating the three lanes here at Las Vegas. You can go four wide, but I wouldn't recommend it personally. But you see exactly what Huck Wigington's doing. You see right here on the onboard cam, you see right where he is straddling that seam, and that has got a lot to do with how the truck will affect where it's at. If you're not on that seam, it's basically just going to drive just normally like it should. But straddling that seam, what it's doing is that it's making the truck turn more than what you want it to. So obviously, if the truck's real tight, you straddle that seam, make that truck turn more and more. Well, at that point, he just caught the seam at the bad time, and he was just turning the wheel normally. It just came straight out from up under.
As we're under caution here once again, the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. We only have just about 30 laps to go here tonight. We invite you to go grab that popcorn, grab that drink, grab that snack. We're in for some high intensity, high volume racing. We'll step aside for our last break of the evening here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We'll be right back from Sin City. We're back here in Sin City in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. Myself, William Tiller, Jake Reeves, Adam Flieger have been the man in the booth here tonight. And Jake, we just saw our fourth caution of the night. We're coming on the backstretch here, what presumably could be a numerous restarts that we're going to see here towards the end of this race. But it's going to be Keith Bradley and Jose Luis Rivera taking us to the drop of the green flag. What do you expect here in this restart?
Progressive moving. Honestly, Will, I mean, everybody knows that that pay window is open. We are in Vegas, and the pay window is open now for these drivers. So you're going to see a lot of drivers making some aggressive moves. Obviously, we know that if they win, they are in, and that's exactly what these drivers are thinking as well. The pace truck is off, waiting to get into that box. They're in the box. Green flag is in the air. Jose Luis Rivera up top at this point. He's going to get the jump, slide straight down the front. Again, Keith Bradley, side-by-side battle with Bradley and Thomas now is actually going to advance on the inside line. Bring Blake Lothian with him. Claycart not getting a very good start as Joey Doucette trying to find a way as well around him. And here comes again Keith Bradley on the top side.
Yeah, he's getting pushed along to the 23 machine of Steven Thomas. The animal look to the top side. He'll go back behind his bumper of the 20. Jose Luis Rivera again. He'll slide to the inside, try to take that lap away from the 20. Jose Luis Rivera will be the first lap on the green as Keith Bradley again looks to the inside. Lothian, where did he come from? He is back in the mix in that 43 machine as Jose Luis Rivera has got that nose glued on the tail into 3 and 4, and the battle for the lead again rages back up.
Very aggressive move by Bradley, sliding up in front of Jose Luis Rivera. Actually got Bradley very loose off of turn number 2. And I talked about the hard racing, literally door to door, beating doors, going down the front stretch. Lothian trying to see if he can sneak his nose to the top side and try to make it work. Rivera down on the bottom. Bradley trying to hold them all on the top side, trying to get a run as we got a wreck in the back. Claycart's one of them. It looks like the 53 gets nailed as well. That's Kevin Malia, one of the rookies in the race. Zach Hardwick sliding in. Big crash right here as the caution will come out.
Whoa, and a caution flag that took my breath away there, Jake, down the backstretch. We saw that started to percolate just a little bit. And you see Jacob Klinkart in that 5. He's on the inside coming off of 4. Stephen Thomas is in the middle. Blake Lothian on the top side here on the pole instant replay. And you're going to see the 5. I'm not sure there, Jake. He's going to come up the racetrack there. I don't know if maybe he was just loose coming off the corner. Never seemed to really regain control of that 5. And once you do that coming off of 4 and you know you have guys to your outside, it's just going to be that domino effect.
Domino effect it is. And you see the 53 up on 2 wheels right there. That's Kevin D'Elia. There's Raul Meza coming out of nowhere. Slammed straight into Jacob Klinkart. But big time race implications, if you will, right there. And you mentioned it right there with Klinkart. I mean, honestly, there was net code that started that. If you slow it down just little by little right there, Klinkart was actually already getting turned when there was a little bit of a gap between him and Stephen Thomas. But Klinkart was coming up the racetrack. No denying that at all. I think what he was trying to do was he thought, actually, you see the gap right there that Thomas has got on Lothian. He probably thought that Thomas was a little bit tighter up on Lothian in that matter, and then Klinkart was going to slide up and try to fill it up and try to well, he thought he had more room. Honestly, I think that's what it was. Klinkart thought he had more room, and he did not. That sent him straight in to Stephen Thomas, sent him into Lothian, and then, like you said, the domino effect happened. Everybody trying to squeak by Hartwick, one of those that gets into Klinkart. Michael McKinnon barely snuck through it. I just saw him on my side, barely snuck through it. You see Peacock, you see Robbie Richards, Cody Knott, all these guys being able to sneak through it. But I'm telling you, we talked about it. As aggressive as it was, we saw some aggressive moves. I talked about it. Well, there was an aggressive move that took out probably at least 6 to 8 trucks right there.
Boy, it's been a while since I've seen a truck flip on the racetrack. Very close there as that 53 machine went up on two wheels on that backstretch. And Jake, I wanted to ask you here, as now we're under caution once again, Darren's nail gun repair 350. And we saw it last week at Daytona, guys building up runs, working their way up through the field, and then disaster strikes. And we've seen it here again with the likes of Zach Hartwick or Colson, who's had a rough night. You just saw with Jacob Cleanheart there in that 5. How frustrating is that for a driver?
I mean, it's frustrating anytime that you get involved in any type of wreck, especially when it's got none of your doing. That's when it really is frustrating. I mean, if you're the one that basically caused it, I mean, granted, it's frustrating because you're like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. But what's really rough is, like I said, some of the guys that are back there in the back, Zach Hartwig, had nothing to do with it, just drove straight into it and got caught up in it. Raul Meza was one of them that I mentioned a while ago. He got caught up in it, and he had absolutely nothing to do with it as well. That's when the frustration builds, is when you got nothing to do with it, and then your race is over with because of somebody making a move that probably should not have happened.
Yeah, we're going to have the same names at the top of the grid here for the drop of the green flag. Keith Bradley, the animal. We saw him sweep the stages here in the Darren's nail gun repair 350. Jose Luis Rivera will be up there. Justin Lumpkin in the 18 will be up there as well. So we have some big movers here in this race. Joey Doucette in the 16, Blake Lothian there in the 43. 27 spots from the drop of the green flag. So one of these drivers here tonight, if they're able to take home that checkered flag, not only would they win the race, obviously, Jake, but also win that hard charger award as well here in this race, as they're both battling for that position as well.
Well, both of these guys, though, both of these guys very, very fast from what we have seen in the past. Obviously, the first name out of all that has got to be Joey Doucette, and what we have seen him do here in the C.O.P.S Truck Series on Friday nights on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We know that Joey Doucette is, he and always has been a fast horse out here. Lothian as well. That's going to be really big for them to get that hard charger award. Even if they don't win the race, obviously, they're still going to get the hard charger award, so there's something else that they're racing for as well. But all of that's got to happen. If they want to win the race, they got to get around a champion. They got to get around some guys that was actually in the championship 6 last season, Keith Bradley and Jose Luis Rivera, who is on the front row as the pace truck pulls off, as they creep into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Bradley gets a huge jump. Rivera down on the bottom. And here comes Logan. Side-by-side battle. And Jose Luis Rivera for second as they go in.
Keith Bradley takes us into corner number 1. We see the battle for second, though. Jose Luis Rivera in the 20. Blake Lothian in the 43, side-by-side down the backstretch. Joey Doucette, the Joker, those trying to work up to the animal himself right now. We come around 3 and 4 right now. Gonna make it 20 laps to go. Here and there's now gonna repair 350.
Bradley's gonna have some help right behind him now. Jose Luis Rivera caught back up. Lothian actually shoving Rivera for a second. Rivera shoves it straight into turn number 1. Tries to make it stick, and it will stick for the moment. Bradley up top. Lothian's going to go all the way down to the line, try to make it 3 wide. Rivera blocks him and keeps him back there. That's going to stall that inside lane, as he thought that he was going to be able to clear Bradley for a second. Now Bradley will clear a big time block. While Bradley, check out Joey Doucette up in the middle of this as well with Lumpkin and Lothian. Tell you, well, I talked about these aggressive moves that these drivers is going to make. Inside 20 to go. It's time for it all to happen.
Yeah, it's time to go right now into 3 and 4. You see the 23. Stephen Thomas going to try to the top side to Keith Bradley. Keith Bradley, though, this is where he likes to be. The animal here comes off of corner number 4. You see Joey Doucette in the mix with Blake Logan and Stephen Thomas in the 23 right there. I don't think we've seen the last of that yellow flag here tonight as these drivers just keep getting very, very close to one another. As we come off of corner number 2, still Keith Bradley leading the way, but with a run off of corner number 2, Jose Luis Rivera goes to the inside. He'll take Joey Doucette with him in that 16. Oh my goodness, quite a block out of 29. As still Keith Bradley leads the way off of 4.
This is normal to see this here at Las Vegas. All the moves that they're making, all the blocks that they're making. And Rivera, he's not going to get out of the gas if he does not have to. He'll jump to the top, try to get it to work. Now that opens the door for Joey Doucette, who's going to jump down to the bottom lane, try to go side by side with Rivera. Rivera barely gets clear from Doucette and will stuff it down on the inside of Keith Bradley. Try to make it stick. And Jose Luis Rivera will clear Keith Bradley. As Bradley going to try to pull the slider and slide straight down to the bottom. Doucette trying to help him as they go into turn number 1.
Boy, Jake, that move makes me nervous every time I see it there. But we've seen that move over and over and over again out of Keith Bradley. He does it with no limit, just like a Texas Hold'em poker table right now into 3 and 4. Jose Luis Rivera is bobbing and weaving like Muhammad Ali in a Las Vegas triumph, right? He is just trying to get around. The animal here, he tries once again to the top side across that start-finish line into 1 and 2, 14 laps to go.
Rivera got right up on Bradley's back bumper, basically got him loose coming off of turn number 4, maybe trying to see if he can use that to his advantage. Lothian gonna try to follow suit with Rivera as they go too wide going into turn number 3. Doucette down on the bottom trying to help Bradley on that inside advantage. Bradley, he will barely trying to get there, but he will not as Rivera fights back on the top. 13 laps to go on the screen. Hard racing. These guys not giving an inch, driving their tails off. Going into turn number 1, coming off of turn number 2, still too wide for the lead.
2 by 2 here down the backstretch. We also see some big battles right behind our leaders, though, for the top 5 positions into 3 and 4. Still side by side off of corner number 4. Gonna make it 12 laps to go as the animal takes us down to corners 1 and 2. Jose Luis Rivera still trying to the top side, gets a little loose into 1 and 2. He'll keep control, though. Still airtight as we come off.
Airtight. I'll be honest with you, that's not even close to what these guys are. You can't even fit a piece of paper between Keith Bradley and Jose Luis Rivera. That's how tight they are running. Bradley stuffs it straight in there, tries to come straight up the track. He's going to get turned into the wall by Jose Luis Rivera as Bradley's going to go straight to the back. Rivera will take the lead. Now, side-by-side battle with Doucette and Rivera. Stephen Thomas has got up into this battle. Also with Robin Richards. Now, will Doucette be able to clear Jose Luis Rivera as Bradley has fallen off down through the field?
As the animal has been tamed into 3 and 4. Green flag stays out here in Darren's nail gun repair 350 as the Joker takes us off of corner number 4. Joey Doucette in that 16 goes into 1 and 2. Missed out on the championship 6 last year by 1 single point. With a race here tonight would lock himself into the playoff races in week number 2. He has got a lot of work to do, a lot of hungry dogs behind him though. Into 3 and 4, he leads the field.
And he's got Jose Luis Rivera, who we have seen has got some speed as he was battling with Bradley just a second ago. He's going to have to try to get around the Jokers. They come up with the lap truck with Jacob Flinkart. Flinkart will run it straight up to the wall and give way to the lead lap trucks. Doucette still leads with Jose Luis Rivera, Stephen Thomas, Blake Lothian, and Robbie Richards, the top 5. But we're talking about the hard charger award. Right now, it is Joey Doucette leading the race here at Las Vegas, coming to 8 laps to go when they cross the track.
Yeah, the Joker up 31 spots from the drop of the green flag and make it 8 to go across that start-finish line into 1 and 2. Jose Luis Rivera behind him in that second spot. Stephen Thomas on the 23 machine in the third spot position. Oh, as you see, Blake Lothian crushes the wall off of 2. That's going to be a hard impact out of the 43, but mama, here comes that man once again, the 99 of Devin Painter, faded just a little bit in this race. He's trying to make himself known here across the start-finish line, going to make it 7 to go.
Check out Jeff Barrett just a while ago. He was a lap down, now up in the top 10. Started 33rd all the way up to 8. That's in the 60 truck. Trying to go around Robbie Richards. Richards slides up and gets into his left side. Now Merrick gonna go around the top side. Get the draft off Loki. He actually gets around Taylor Peacock. He gets into the fence. Everybody basically swinging for the fences here at Vegas, especially back here battling around the top 6 spot right here. Everybody trying to get everything they can up front. Stephen Thomas trying to get a hold of Jose Luis Rivera for the battle for second as Joey Doucette looks like he's starting to pull away.
As you mentioned, that pay window is open. And caution's out. Caution is out with 6 laps to go here in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. This will give us essentially a green-white checker to end this race. Let's check it out on the pole instant replay.
It was Taylor Peacock going into turn number 1. Lothian, little bit of net code that happened once again. I talked about how rough this net code is, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, it was very, very little net code, but Lothian came down just a little bit, and you can see the net code. You can see where he's not touching Peacock's truck. You can see it right there. Right there in that instance, you can already see Peacock starting to go to the right. Granted, Lothian, he was coming down, but he didn't touch him until basically Peacock came straight up into him. But, I mean, that net code, I'm telling you, Will, I mean, we hate it. I hate it. And I know you hate it too, and I know everybody that watches here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, I know they hate it as well. And that's very unfortunate for Taylor Peacock and Blake Lothian, who both of them were running actually inside the top 5 and also inside the top 10 when all of that took place.
And I think, Jake, one point to mention as well, if we could actually rewind that replay just a little bit before the contact was made between the 81 and the 43, I think the 43 was suffering from some reciprocal effects of hitting that top side wall as hard as he did a few laps before this, because as you see the 43 go into 3 and 4, he is sort of bumping into the corner. It doesn't look like he has full control of that truck, just a little bit of a slightness into 3 and 4. He's trying to get down the track there. You see that truck just bouncing along. He might have some damage on that 43 that may have caused this caution.
Well, he's got way more damage now that you can see right there, Will. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when he slid it up and got into the fence, yeah, I think that would probably have a little bit to do with what happened right there. You know, that's why he was sliding back as much as he was. But as far as him coming down the track, I think what he was trying to do was pull a little bit of a side draft and try to pull Peacock back, because Peacock had it going. He dumped it in there and was able to try to keep himself clear. But like I said, right there, I just saw it myself right there. He was just trying to pull Peacock back, and it was just at the wrong spot, I guess you could say, at least for the net code point of it. I mean, that happens. I mean, as bad as I gotta say it, I mean, it's just somebody just trying to side draft somebody back, and then net code hits, and then chaos ensues.
As we look at what's essentially going to be a green-white checkered here in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair, I'm looking at the 350. I'm looking at the official scoring here, Jake, and we have some guys that headed down pit road around lap 98, 99, and then we also have a handful of guys that headed down lap 117. Do you think having new equipment here on this restart is going to make any difference?
Well, it depends on, you know, how they've been driving since then. It depends on, you know, if they've been able to, you know, burn their tires up trying to get where that they got to get. We talked about how abrasive this track surface is. You know, I think that will play into factor. It doesn't really matter as far as that. Now, if they've been taking care of their stuff and they ain't been abusing it, then yeah, obviously they're going to have an advantage over the guys that have been out there longer. But I mean, I think that's exactly what it's going to be. Is if they have not abused their equipment, those are the guys, especially if they've got newer tires, that's really going to help them out for this green white checkered right here.
Yeah, looking at the likes of Jeff Merrick, who just ran a 30.65 last time by. Ashley Dodson racing out of Australia with a 30.63 last time by. And Eric Zimmerman in that 94 just posted the fastest lap of the race with a 30.525. Although some of those guys are a little further down the grid, you are starting to see a little bit of that speed come into play here. The green, white checker, Jake, I think you just touched on it. It's anybody's ball game. It's a free-for-all here at Vegas. The pay window is open. This is the time you have your chips on the Texas Hold'em table or blackjack table. You're trying to make it to that cashier window before you get caught by maybe a slot machine or other games on your way there. All those temptations, all those distractions there. For these guys, though, you have to lock in on this green, white checkered finish. You touched on it, Jake. You win this race here tonight, not only going to take a little cash moolah home with you, but you're going to lock that truck into the playoffs. We had a part-time driver win week number 1 there. All the stakes now shift to week number 2. We can have our first playoff driver here tonight.
And that is going to be big, big, big for any of these guys, and especially some of these guys that are back here. Bradley actually back here in the 20th spot. You touched on this, Will. It's anybody's race. I mean, even Bradley back in the 20th spot, we saw the little scuffle that he had with Jose Luis Rivera earlier. He's got a shot. Brandon Bullock back here with Raul Meza back there in the back. Still on the lead lap. They've got a shot. We're going to see what happens as the pace truck is off. The green flag is in the air. Joey Doucette up top is going to get a great restart. Jose Luis Rivera trying to keep them all in play on the bottom. And check out your pick. Devin Painter up top. Doucette down to block as they come off of turn number 2.
And the Joker takes us off of corner number 2. Devin Painter in the 99's in the mix. Stephen Thomas is in the mix in the 23. He has been up there all night long. Shout out to Lionel Richie as we come off of corner number 4. The Joker is going to take us across the start and finish line. Going to make it 1 lap to go with the Darren's nail gun repair. 350. The race is now official. Whatever happens, happens as we're going to come rolling off of corner number 2.
And Jose Luis Rivera, we see how aggressive he was with Keith Bradley. Will he make the same move as he is going to try to do right here with Doucette? Doucette trying to keep them all at bay, blocking every chance he can. Thomas tries to go down to the bottom to get around Jose Luis Rivera. That's going to basically seal the win. Doucette is a big crash. Coming to the stride with Stephen Thomas, Jose Luis Rivera keeping that as well. But the Joker, Joey Doucette, from all the way in the back to the front, is going to win here at Vegas and lock himself into the playoffs.
Batman does not rule Gotham here tonight. Instead, Sin City is ruled by the Joker here tonight. He is up 31 spots from the drop of the green flag. He'll win the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. Also winning the Hard Charger Award. Boy, he put the work in here tonight. It's going to pay off with a beautiful burnout here on the front stretch.
In to the playoffs, the Joker, Joey Doucette from Oakland, Maine. Big time drive by Joey Doucette. Check out Robbie Richards, one of those guys, gonna get in the 2nd spot. Jose Luis Rivera gonna be 3rd, as you see on the screen. Ashley Dodson, shout out to the Australian, getting in that 4th spot with Justin Lumpkin gonna be in 5th. Rest of the top 10, Stephen Thomas. Brady LaBeouf, how about this? Got caught up in a wreck earlier on in the race, went 1 lap down, 2 laps down if I'm not mistaken, and gonna fight all the way back to 7th. Eric Zimmerman gonna be 8th. Devin Painter gonna get 9th, and rookie Jeff Merrick gonna be in 10th.
look past the 10th position. We look at Phil Pappas in that 11th spot. Cody not in the 26th, although not the best run that he would want here tonight. Is going to finish in the top 15, going to finish 12th. Michael McKinnon is going to finish in the 13th position to match that car number. Adam Newton's going to finish 14th. Kevin D'Elia in that 53, 15th. Sean Hamilton, Mr. O Canada, is going to finish 16th. Zach Hartwick is going to finish 17th, our pole sitter. Keith Bradley, the animal, unfortunately, is going to finish 18th here tonight. I say that because he was a top 5, even a top 10 truck here all night long. He's going to finish in the 18th spot. Brandon Bullock is going to take home the 19th spot, and Raul Meza in 20th.
Jacob Walker going to be in the 21st spot with Jonathan Munda in 22nd. Adam Johnson, the last truck on the lead lap, finishing 23rd. Rest of these guys more than one lap down. Dana Shepard, Blake Lothian 24th and 25th. Jacob Klinkart in the 26th spot. Taylor Peacock in 27th. Jeffrey Sickles in 28th. Justin White in 29th. And Ed Osborne in 30th.
Look at the rest of the grid here. Kyle Hess, 31st. Huck Whittington, 32nd. Dan Hagan, 33rd. James D. Morris, 34th. And Chris Blanchard will round out our field here tonight in the 35th position. But Jake, let's get right to it here, my man. Let's get to these podium finishers, and let's talk with Mr. Robbie Richards first here tonight, finishing in the 3rd spot. Robbie, you're up here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network broadcast booth, finishing 3rd here tonight. Take us through what was a pretty crazy race there towards the end.
Oh man, dude, I'm not sure. Honestly, it was very hard to pass tonight. It was very hard to pass. You did not want to give up the track position if you got it. So, a lot of people racing hard. That's what it was, and this is a product of that. I mean, you're not gonna give here towards the end, especially. So just everybody just racing hard is what that was a product. I mean, I was coming out of 4, I was positioned, I was in P6, and then coming to the line, I was 2nd. So, I mean, take it for what it is. I mean, I guess you could say it's kind of a gift, more or less. I mean, I was on old tires, so them guys that took tires on with the 20 to go, they were definitely faster than all of us. But with it being hard to pass, they just couldn't get around us.
And we look at the last time you headed down pit roads around lap 142 around, actually that's a little wrong there, but we talked about it here on the broadcast. Some guys had newer equipment, some guys had older equipment there towards the drop of the green or the checkered flag there. Did you feel that at all, or were you okay with how your truck was feeling there towards the end?
Well, I was feeling pretty confident at first until I'm not sure what happened with Jacob there on coming off the 4, something about a shifter or something. Went out for a second, and anyway, it caused us to check up on the bottom, and we all checked up, and whoever was behind me ran over me, and so from that point, I knew I probably had a little bit of damage in my tires. I mean, I spun probably 60, 70 feet or more, and then through the grass. So I knew the tires, were probably more damaged up than the other guys who took tires at the same time. So as far as, I guess you could say, yeah, I probably had a little bit of disadvantage there because, the tires were wore out. They probably flat spotted a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say I was more screwed than the rest of them because, the first guys who took tires was probably 1 row behind me. And, they jumped up on the restart, and so they ended up falling like a second or so behind us, and then you could just tell that their tires hooked up and took off, and they caught us with no problem. So it's the way it goes sometimes, though.
Well, Robbie, now we're seeing that you finished 2nd here tonight. The official scoring has you 2nd on the racetrack, but with a 2nd place finish, you're now inside that podium, feeling pretty good here tonight. Anybody you want to shout out, any sponsors you want to thank for tonight's run?
Yeah, I want to thank C.O.P.S for being, putting this on this league, putting their sponsor and putting their name out there for us. Blanchard's Towing, Brady, you guys here in the booth, just everybody, who puts a part in this. Go on to next week, and I'm not sure where we are at next week, but I needed a strong finish tonight because I didn't make it for Daytona, so we'll take this. and move forward with it, and make her run for the playoffs. Hopefully, we can get a win coming up.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate you taking the time with us here tonight, Robbie, and have a great weekend. And that was the driver, the 48 machine of Robbie Richards, coming home second here tonight. Now, Jake, I believe you're catching up with our third place finisher there. Fisher Scoring's got us a little confused up here in the booth, but that's Mr. Jose Luis Rivera in that 20.
Yeah, or Jose Luis Rivera. This is Jacob Reeves. You got a copy?
Hello.
Sounds like you're excited for that for that bad boy. But Jose, I mean, tell us about this race. I mean, it was basically just kill or be killed. I guess from what I was seeing. I mean, tell us about that little bit of contact you had with Keith, and then obviously your night and just the finish in general, bud.
Oh, I love Las Vegas. Every time we come here, I have a great time. It's one of my better tracks, and so yeah, I always mark it on my calendar. The issue with me and Keith is in the heat of the moment. I told him I apologize for it. I didn't want it to end like that. But I mean, watching the replay, I think he might have come up on me. So I mean, things happen out there on the track. I wish it didn't. We're having a great race, but things happen. It's just a racing deal.
And we talked about this. Will talked about this with Robbie just a second ago. Yeah, I mean, how was your truck feeling out there? Was you more tight than loose? Because we saw some guys that were sliding up the track, and then we saw some guys that were just like Huck a while ago, just straight up lose it on his own. I mean, how was your truck feeling? Was you tight, loose, or was you just right in the middle?
It's actually pretty weird. I had moments of both. Like I'd go into the turn when the tires were starting to wear, and I just couldn't make the turn. But there was other times when I'd be on the front stretch and I'd just lose it on the apron. So it was a pretty scary situation there on track.
Well, you was able to grasp a little bit of luck, I guess you could say, it being Las Vegas. Going into next week's going to be way, way different than what we had at Daytona and what we had tonight here at Las Vegas, that being New Hampshire, the Magic Mile, the flat track. What do you expect the race to be like at Las Vegas, and what do you expect for yourself going in next week?
I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a very different track. No banking, just a flat track. Last season I did pretty well at Hampshire. I finished P4. I remember making a big run at the end. So I think I'm all right at Hampshire. I think I'll be an okay. I do have some ground to make up. I missed Daytona, so I got some ground to make up here. So hopefully we can keep chipping away at it here at Hampshire.
Well, Jose Luis Rivera had that photo finish, I guess you could say, with Robbie Richards actually going to be third.
I can't believe he beat me to the line.
Yeah, it was tight. Both of you was 0.417 from the results page, so it was that tight. But you coming home with the podium finish tonight, getting that third spot. You got anybody that you want to thank that made this possible tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. I want to thank Nazareth for allowing us all to race here. Race Lab, you don't see them on my truck right now, but they've allowed me to run their brand on my trucks for a couple seasons now. Hoopty's Garage, for my teammate Jacob and, well, the Jacobs, Kevin, Dana. They all had some tough luck here today, but, they had some good races in them. I want to thank them, my painter, Dip, and everyone in Nazareth for making this happen,
We love Nazareth, buddy. That's how we do it. And Jose Luis Rivera coming home with a podium finish. Third tonight here at Vegas. Jose, we will see you at New Hampshire.
Yes, sir.
That was the driver of the number 20, Jose Luis Rivera, getting the podium for the third spot. But, Will, have you caught up with the winner here tonight?
Hi.
Joey Doucette, this is Jacob Reeves. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, Joey, coming home with the win here tonight at Vegas. Joey, just tell us about your race, bud.
Exhausting, hard to pass. A little bit of strategy here and there. I mean, we're all over the place tonight. I just couldn't get the tires where I wanted it to be. But no, just it's exhausting when you can't pass easily, and it's like a one groove track. And but overall, I'm happy. Can't be not happy with a win, but just sucks for my teammate Keith Bradley. Got turned there, and I don't think there was a caution. Maybe there was. Maybe I just couldn't quite remember. And I just got in front, knew it was going to be a green white checkered, took the top, and just needed to get in front of Jose there, and just push as hard as I can without losing the truck to win the race. And here I am.
Well, Joey Doucette, you win tonight, basically locking yourself in to the playoffs. That's got to be a big time great feeling for you. What's your mindset, I guess, going for the rest of the season? Because basically, you can just go straight out at this point and just basically just, I guess you could say it, you basically can just go balls out for the rest of the season and just go because you know 100% that you're locked in.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go balls out. The team owner there, Brady, said in his podcast he wanted me to be a more aggressive this season, and this is a great way to start it out. Daytona wasn't the greatest, but yeah, I started from the back, couldn't qualify tonight, and I just made my way up, and I was just being aggressive to try to be up there with my teammate Keith that led the whole entire race basically, and just was right place, right time. Missed that wreck right there, and you know, just took it sailing from there. I'm just glad that I could get the win for the team. Um, it's just a great day overall. And yes, like I said, I'm just gonna go straight out and try to get more wins. I need more playoff points. I didn't get no stage points tonight. I got 3 playoff points, 3 or 5 playoff points tonight. I just need to just accumulate them playoff points when it comes time and not have to worry about getting into the final 6.
Joey Doucette with the win tonight in the C.O.P.S Truck Series here at Vegas. Joey, before we let you go, is there anybody that you want to thank that made this win possible tonight?
Nazareth 360 Racing Network, Warrior Wraps, NAR Power System, M1 Race Cars, Overtop Designs, Hoop Ties Garage, Pulse Poppers, Blanchard's Towing, Stogies, Cops, Sim Racer Hub, Butt Kicker, 213 Simware. My whole team, Robbie Richards, what a great second place finish. We almost got Ashley in the top 3 too. That would have been great for the team, but he finished 4th. And the man Brady, with all that damage, he finished 7th. And again, Ed and Keith Bradley there, they had a little mishaps and got collected, but overall, I appreciate them, and congratulations to Jose on his top 3 there. He could have won that too. So it's all and you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, we're not out there, and you guys do one heck of a job.
We love the shout outs just as much as the sponsor does, Joey. But Joey, we appreciate it. And congratulations on the win. We'll see you at New Hampshire next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that was Joey Doucette, driver of the number 16, getting the win tonight. And well, I'm telling you, it was a crazy one tonight. I'll be honest with you.
And I gotta say, I'm kind of nervous for the rest of the field for next week, because for Joey, that's gonna be a home track, New Hampshire racing out of Oakland, Maine. He's gonna have been raced that track probably a million times, either here in the simulator. He's probably been to the track as well in real life. So I'm sure the Joker has some tricks up his sleeve for next week's race. But we saw it again here tonight. This was a driver that came from the tail end of the field, worked his way all the way up to the top, took the checkered flag here tonight, Jake. That's why I say when we go over that starting grid, my favorite positions are actually the guys that qualified maybe 20th or worse down there, because those are usually guys you see hard charging through the race.
And to be honest with you, this might be something right here that the field may want to try to look at. Honestly, Will, I mean, I'm just being honest here. Maybe they might want to think about when they go to New Hampshire, pull a Joey Doucette right here and just not even qualify. Just start at the back and just see what happens at this point. Granted, obviously, that's one of those tracks that is going to be track position. We talked to Keith Bradley about that a while ago. Track position mattered here at Vegas. Well, Joey Doucette, he just proved that theory completely wrong, starting all the way in the back and coming up and winning the race here tonight. So, I mean, it's awesome to see that right there. But there is a trend going on. You don't have to be the fastest guy for 2 laps in qualifying. You just got to be there at the end, and that's what Joey Doucette did here tonight.
Absolutely, and you see the Joker is going to rule Sin City here tonight in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 350. This has been a presentation of the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We want to thank all of our sponsors here in tonight's race. Of course, our title sponsor of the Concerns of Police Survivors. We also would like to thank as well Darren's Nail Gun Repair for being the title sponsor of tonight's race. But for myself, Mr. William Tiller, Mr. Jake Reeves, and Adam Flieger, we invite you to check us out on Monday night in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series or next Friday from New Hampshire, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube or Facebook at Nazareth Racing. We'll see you then. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the track.